We can see them here. This thing is not thing.
Oh,
Yeah, so
right, so you can see them there.
they're not on.
We open the meeting, let's go through the roll, make sure everybody can hear it.
Tom, can you hear us?
Yes,
And Joe, you can hear us, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That is such a weird thing up there.
It's not easy.
All right, are we recording?
Yes.
Okay, because I know some people are gonna have to watch it. All right, so we're gonna open the meeting of the frozen room of the Community Preservation Committee. There's all the heater, it's on. I'm sure the people online are a lot warmer than we are. Huh. And at 9:27. We're gonna establish a quorum. I'm gonna call your name, tell me that you can hear me. Jesse?
Hi, I can hear you.
Tim, I thought you were supposed to be awake. Tim?
Here.
Eleanor? Hi. Joe?
Here.
Tom?
here.
Okay, do you need us to speak louder so you can hear us?
Here.
Yeah, I know, but do you need to, can you hear us?
Oh, yes, I can. Thank you.
No, you don't have to shout, but can you hear us?
Tom, I said the same thing.
And Glenna?
Here.
And I am here, and I think there was someone else coming up the ramp. Did you see whoever was coming up the ramp?
Oh,
Here.
he's opening.
No, this
Oh,
No, wasn't quick enough.
Oh, goody. Here's the latest and greatest,
Yeah, it's through expenses through May, November,
right?
so that ending balance is,
It's pretty good.
well, it's, yeah, because there's really not very much.
And there were some from like 15 years ago. I think you caught those. You got those.
Everything is on
Okay,
there,
yeah.
everything is on there that we have a reserve for projects that have a balance. So,
Does anybody have any questions for Brian while he's here about the bond from the other day's discussion?
we're working on the information I think that you guys asked for carrying them out, how long we can go and everything. So, we're gonna, we'll model a few different options
Okay,
for that.
great.
So I think we can go out 30 years total, so.
Which will leave us down in about 150 to 200 range.
that's all
Maybe.
left?
Those are the, yeah, so the last column is the balances in the. You know,
But those are open projects too.
right, they're all
So
open
we-
projects that
so
have
we have to-
balances
we have to
from
run
whenever
back
they
and-
were approved at
Yeah.
town meeting. That has expenses all the way through,
Now,
well, I think there's a warrant next week, which
Yeah.
hasn't been posted, so I don't, Glenna, is there anything in that warrant for next
One.
week?
Well, I haven't gained the access yet.
Oh,
Nobody's
I
given-
didn't know
I've
you
been-
didn't have access,
No.
I'm sorry.
she's not on the town.
No, I am. I went
No,
through.
You're on mute,
cybersecurity.
no, I know that.
Yeah.
Do you have, okay, so let me ask you a question while I'm here then. Do you have reimbursement requests that need to be processed?
I do.
Okay, could you drop them off to my office and we'll put them in so that they can be paid next week?
Okay.
So if you
Because
could drop them
haven't
off
voted
either.
on those yet, have we?
No, those are the ones we voted
Oh,
on
last
at our,
month.
yeah.
Yeah, so if you just drop them off by like Monday, or today or Monday is fine, and we'll put them in. So those are not, just so
But
you know,
those are
those
this
are not
year's.
reflective,
Those are this
those
year's.
those are 25 allocation?
Yeah, we're not counting. that.
Not all of them. Some may be from 24
Okay,
and then, you know.
okay, you're probably more concerned about 2023 and beyond,
Yeah,
24 is,
beyond.
okay.
Those are the ones that
Okay,
we're
so
paying.
if you just drop those off either today or Monday,
Sure.
my staff will get them in, so they go with the warrant next week, okay?
Great,
Very
And
well.
if you have any other questions, just let me know, and we'll run some different scenarios for the $5 million.
I know. it's fine.
Everybody does, actually, that's, it's not a secret, trust me.
You mentioned the 350, which, did you check, that was part of what we already stockpiled?
Yeah, that, so we paid, so we have a debt payment due in November.
Cause
Or,
we have included another three
yeah,
fifty.
that's fine, that's
Okay.
good. That actually keeps you a little bit ahead, but that's not necessarily bad,
All right,
in case you wanna alter something in the future.
now does our three fifty that we've allocated so far have applied to the first one and not the second one?
No, there's two different ones.
Right,
So yeah,
the three fifty applies
one
to
are they
the first
drawing?
one,
so there's two of them.
Right,
right,
So the 350 that you're putting in now is
Yeah.
the one that you're paying on,
that's the first one,
right, on 20,
whatever. it was,
2025 town
2019.
meeting, the 350, I believe would be for the one that you're paying on.
Okay,
We have about $1,050,000 on the second one to pay down when we permanently
we
borrow
only have
it.
$1,050,000.
So that's why you don't need to, that's why I'm thinking that you're okay temporarily for that one.
Okay. Have you,
Uh,
you haven't pulled that second one yet, though.
We have a
We're-
ban,
We're
but that's it.
starting it,
What, $1,050,000 out of how much? 5.
No, so you have put aside $1,050,000 to
Or
pay down the $5 million.
5, that's the
When
question.
you, so I,
When we
sorry, I
start
may not have
that.
been 100% clear on that.
No, I'm just learning.
So, cause we have it, so there's about 1.6 of that taken out. But we haven't permanently borrowed it. So at the time we go to permanently borrow it, we will take whatever has been set aside
Yeah.
and pay down the permanent borrowing and only finance the
What's left.
the delta, yeah.
yeah.
and how much is the one that's been drawn on,
First one.
which one, how much was that, I forget,
It was 5 million.
that was
There's
fine,
a full,
They're
5
both
million, and the
fine.
payment is right around 349 or 50,000 a year. We leveled it out, so it was pretty close to
We're
what,
we're in pretty good shape.
yes.
I mean, next year we'll maybe allocate.
For the debt allocations,
Yeah.
I think you are in good shape, but we can work on this. And we can look at some longer run out models for this 5 million so that you can start setting aside a little bit lower number. And we
Okay,
can run those out. And plus with the Fed cutting interest rates, it actually may help us a little bit.
Well, that's what you were waiting for anyways, right?
Well, I was actually, to be honest with you, I was
waiting
hoping,
for the election.
since we're not gonna bond these for a little while, I was hoping that they would keep them higher a while because we're earning really tremendous returns right now, and I'd like to keep that going.
Cause we get the interest back.
Yeah,
Part of what we get
yeah,
to spend is
yeah.
our interest.
Yeah,
And we're still working with the $4 million total.
yeah, I gotta talk to Mindy, but I don't think, what did I give you for interest in that 4 million? Do you remember?
90?
Yeah, we probably could raise that a little bit if you want. If there's something that was a delta that you needed a little bit more money, we can probably raise that a little bit.
Okay,
Not a lot,
cause
but
we're
probably
hovering around 4.
about 100,000. We can generate additional 100 in interest, I would say.
We
Okay,
don't need to be that close to the pit. It's good to have a little wiggle room though.
Yeah, no, it is to build up on
yeah.
the
Because we don't end up,
undesignated fund
because we
balance,
have to
so
take the
yes.
350 out and then the 200,000 for administrative, which is required.
Yeah.
So that we
So,
took, 550 right off the top. So if we get an extra 100, that lessens the damage from the other two that are coming off the top.
Yeah.
So that's not bad.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
you're welcome. And if any other questions, just let me know. All right?
You know I will.
You all know where to find me, I'm sure, right?
thanks, Brian.
Thanks.
I got your
Have a great
cell
day.
number.
See you later.
This is very helpful. Because we have to put a separate warrant article and to recoup money. So right now, between Glenn and myself and Eleanor, if you wanna help out, we gotta notify, get a hold of all these people and see if they're done with their projects. Like Landmark, I'm pretty sure
yeah.
Landmark's done with that particular
Yeah.
project.
The procedure, what we've done historically is we'll look at the old projects on this list, which I've given to everybody previously. And old balances or small balances, we would reach out to them and say, okay, are you going to use these funds? Is your project complete?
Yeah.
And if so, then you need to return those funds back to the CPC, and it'll go into whichever designated category it came from. So if it's historic preservation, it goes back to historic preservation, open space / recreation, and then affordable housing.
So my question is, for example, Landmark, they came this time
This is their
around
the third or fourth time.
Mhm.
for funds. Wouldn't that just roll into?
You
the
can't,
debt?
it has to be used for
For
the thing that they
that.
used it
Oh,
for.
okay.
The project that,
Under their.
whatever's in their
application.
application, right?
You can't just roll
I
stuff
thought-
around.
I
I
didn't
have a question for you.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm misunderstanding the structure of the process, but if this
One
money,
conversation, guys, this thing picks up everybody at one
if
time.
this money is unallocated, therefore has not been requisitioned, correct? So they never came to request the, like, for instance, the 17,000 and change for the Mitchell House from 2005.
Yep.
They never asked for that money. It's sitting there somewhere.
They didn't use it. They used the rest of it. They didn't use,
But they don't have it, we have it.
we have it, but
So-
it's
so
requisition to them, period.
Right, so how does that work? So do they say we waive our, we're done with the project, we waive our rights to that
Yeah, they
money?
sent an email to Glenna.
I'll
It's just
reach
a,
out.
it's a written communication.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's-
I'll reach out to them and
Sorry.
say, okay, you still have $17,000 in
Are
that
you done
account for
with
that
that project?
particular project.
Right.
Are you done with that project? Are you going to continue using it? If not, they need to return it, and it's by letter. They'll send a letter to me, and then I'll share it with
Yeah,
the chair
then we'll
and the
start
rest of
putting
the
it all
board.
together.
My only concern would be, and this is not to be distrustful or paranoid, but is that would some of these people say, ooh, I forgot about that money, let's go and use it to this,
But they
to
can't.
that."
Have to use it for what.
They have to
I know.
use it for what it's
I know.
allocated for. And
I know.
the beauty of it is they have to submit a project status report. And if that project status report does not reflect what's in their synopsis for that particular project, it won't be approved.
So what if that 2005 Mitchell House thing was roofing?
Well, they can still use it.
They can still use it.
They can
For
still
the-
use
for
it.
the- For the
It was
current
interior,
project.
it was interior.
Okay, you remember that?
And,
Yeah.
and the other thing, Eleanor, some of these may look old or outdated, but the other process, part of the process is once they receive the allocated funds, they have 2 years to start the project
Right.
Unless we agree.
And then
that
they
the
could take
Title
forever
10 thing
and a
was-
day. to finish it. But they do have 2 years to start it. If they don't start it within that 2 years,
We gotta make a
then-
determination.
right,
Gotcha, okay.
Now, some of this stuff, I know they're done with the Athenaeum paintings because I spoke to them 2 weeks ago. So there's little stuff in here. Now this 4 cents on $124, we're not asking them. Brian can wipe it out and just stick it back in our accounts. Because we're not asking people about 30 cents.
Would
or
we,
4 cents.
4 cents.
would we be better off to not do that this year?
No,
Let me finish. And save this for a year where we're short on money?
no, because it goes back in and it sits there in our accounts.
I understand.
And this was not something Ken was happy with if we don't do it. We've been waiting to do it for years, Ken, because he was ill for the last at least 2.5.
Yeah.
We didn't really pursue it. He and I talked about it multiple times, but just wasn't into it. No, we need the money back. It goes into our reserves, so we have it to spend in September next year. That's the point.
Well, I was thinking for a year when maybe we don't have 4 million, we only have 2.
No, because it's still there.
That's
It's
what
not
I'm
going
saying.
anywhere. We need to do it now, so we know how much we have in reserves for when we do this again in a year. So it's not good, because otherwise we're out. 2
I
or 3
understand
years.
what you're saying.
Yeah, it has to go now, because we've been
Even though
putting it
it's
off.
been 5, 6 years since we've done it, we
Yeah,
gotta do it now.
we gotta do it because it's just
Got it.
hanging out
Should maybe
there.
do it every 5 years.
Got it.
No, we do it every year.
We do it
Most
every
of them
year.
Every year, because the project managers would check in with their people.
Right.
Because a lot of these unlike the churches, which went on for 20 years, and unlike,
We
Mount
may
Mitchell,
find
which
there's
goes
not a
on.
lot here.
Most of these are one-shot deals, and then they're done.
Right.
So that's why we gotta go back to them, because the things from 2005 and 6, Ken and I just sort of scratched our heads about this stuff. There's always guard, I wanted to down to them.
That's why I say that we.
And the town clerk record, she didn't know she still had it. Because that wasn't the communication between her and Catherine.
Wow.
Yeah, so they can keep going with that stuff under that one, and it was not the Civil War, which is what they applied for this time. But they have all those other birth and death records that she can keep going with. I told her they have money, and she was like very happy. So when there's been a change of the management of all these projects, like the cemeteries, he didn't know we had that much money until Charlie took over, and now Charlie's on the cemetery committee. Because I kept trying to work with those guys, and they just, it's a bunch of older people who are invested in the cemetery. Put it that way. All right, people. Let's get down to brass tacks here.
So I would like to suggest, Madam Chair, that we use Eleanor's Excel sheet as the discussion point. Because it kind of captures everything we talked about. And with the amounts that were in question last week, it almost perfectly comes down to the amount of money we
It
have.
does, but we've got 2 fund requisites. Oh, somebody want to make a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Ellen made a motion to approve the agenda for a second.
Second.
Tim seconded. All those in favor? Jesse?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Eleanor?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Is there anybody else up there?
That's it.
Okay. Okey dokey, and the two fund requisitions are Mariah Mitchell, 56,730, 387 from FY 21. See, that's one of the projects that just keeps going.
Right.
And Nantucket Interfaith, Neville's project, rental assistance, $24,072 from FY 25, which is the current one we're in. Somebody want to make those motions?
That's,
So moved.
Eleanor made a motion, Tim seconded. All those in favor, Jesse?
Aye.
Tim?
aye.
Eleanor?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Okay, so now we're moving on to the nitty gritty. Did you guys get Eleanor's spreadsheet in your emails?
I sent it to everyone.
All right.
Okay,
And
so
printed copies as well.
the first thing we should probably do to make this easier, somebody's got a calculator. There. Is look at open space, because we have no choice there. Because we know that has to come off the top. And we can just go right over there. Somebody get their calculator going somewhere.
I don't know. Pain to use my phone.
I should have been.
You'll see that I removed their contingency and their soft costs to bring it, the Lighthouse School down just by $1,500. I'm not saying we need to do that, but we're gonna do,
What was the other amount that maybe deducted the 500?
it was,
It's something weird.
expendable, different.
I'm not worried about it, but I just didn't.
It was like something strange. It wasn't defined,
Okay,
expendables.
and you did the 316.50 plus that 83 gives us the 400.
Correct.
Okay. All right, how does anybody feel about the allocation for open space recreation? Are we good with those amounts?
I'm great with it.
So 83,950.
Yep.
To the Lighthouse.
Yep.
And $316,050 to the NRSA.
With the caveat that it's available, the public has access to it.
Yes,
The rain garden, yeah, Yeah.
So did you say 83,000 for the lighthouse?
correct, 83,950. Which
You
is removing the $1,000 contingency
Okay.
and a $500.
Here, go on here.
Okay.
Oh, you, it's right here,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's right
It's on
off
the back page.
Excel.
the last page. Where it totals up to 400.
Are we working with the 4 million or you're
We're
working
working with the 4 million at the moment.
or 3.8?
Well, it's the same, you guys are saying the
Okay.
same thing. 4 million minus 2 for admin.
Right,
is
so it's
3.
really 3.8.
I'm just looking at this one thing, and we
Okay.
have to spend 400,000.
Right.
All right, does Tom, Joe, any comments on that, the open space rec part?
No, fine with.
And by the way, I filed a disclosure to do with the NRSA, with the select board, and just so you know, I can vote on it.
All right, somebody want to make a motion to approve the Lighthouse School for 83,950?
I'll make that motion, but Madam Chair, do we have to vote on each one or just
Each
the
one.
whole thing?
I
Each
just
one,
want to
okay,
get, I want to get open space rec just off the table as
okay.
as a group, because we know we have to do that. So was
I
that your
move.
motion? Is there a second?
Second,
Eleanor seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Jesse?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Eleanor?
aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Joe?
I'm gonna recuse from that vote.
Oh, yeah. And I'm in favor. So that's okay. That's that one. All
Yeah, there's another meeting.
right, and then we have the racket club, 316,050 cents. Between the two, they add up to 400,000. Does somebody have any comments about that one? I want to make a motion.
I have one comment, Madam Chair. Just make a contingency that the money's not to be spent on contingencies.
No, there's no.
There are no contingencies in that.
Oh, okay, all right,
This is all still get it
okay.
fixed and everything else. Then want to make a motion on that one?
I would make a motion on that.
Okay, is there a second?
Second,
Eleanor seconded, all those in favor, Jesse,
Aye.
Kim,
Aye.
Eleanor,
aye.
Tom,
I'll abstain.
okay, and Joe,
Aye.
and I'm in favor, okay, so get that one out of the way.
Let's do the supportable housing.
Let's do the affordable housing next.
Two.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the 380,000 requested by the Interfaith Council.
okay,
Second.
is there any further discussion on that one? All those in favor, Jesse,
Aye.
Kim,
Aye.
Eleanor,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
okay, now the 350 for the bond payment. I think we're all in agreement that we have to do that this year. Somebody want to make that motion?
So moved.
All right, Jesse made the motion to approve the 350 for the bond payment. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Kim seconded. All those in favor?
Sorry, Joe.
Jesse,
Aye.
Kim,
Aye.
Eleanor,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Joe.
Aye.
Okay, so we've done both of those. All right, now we get down to it. How much do we have left after we've taken the 730 and the 400 out of there?
Or my desk at the other end. Am I subtracting from 3.8 or is this my?
Four, we're just going back to
All
the
right.
top. Back to the top of the
Okay.
list.
Minus 3 ones. I'm sorry. Seven. Oh, seven. 2,870,000.
Give or take a few change.
I'd like to make a motion.
Well, hang on one second. Now we gotta take the 200,000 off the top of this.
That's what my motion is gonna be.
We don't need a motion for that yet. Okay.
Well, it
So
just,
2,670.
it just lines up the numbers.
So, right, so somebody make a motion to allocate the 200,000 for administrative.
Yes.
Kim, is there a
Yes.
second?
Second.
Eleanor seconded. All those in favor, Jesse,
Aye.
Kim,
Aye.
Eleanor,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Joe.
Aye.
All right, gang. Now we have about $2,670, 70. In no sense.
I have something funny to say.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
historic preservation, when I added the adjusted totals requested, not including NISTA. And incorporating the new much reduced amount for remain, it comes out to $2,669 and $669,920. Sorry, $2,669,920. So a smidge under,
So we got $100.
we got.
Oh, my God.
I move we buy coffee.
Well, let's look at the.
But we should still do it, because I always think we should go through it.
Yeah, but let's look at each one adjusted amounts. Let's look at St. Paul's.
And this is adjusted amounts with the
Yeah.
contingency.
St. Paul's with contingency, we took that off. What was the other amount? There was some wackadoodle 42, was that?
It was,
that travel and
unfortunately,
lodging?
I had comments, but they don't show up in the spreadsheet. I think
That
it was
was
travel and
travel and
lodging and miscellaneous,
Yeah, okay, good.
like truck stuff, truck, gas. Well,
Now, the housing authority, I have to take exception to. Because we don't have any wiggle room. Everything has to be approved by the state. The contingencies have to be built into the state allocation. Plus, the more money we give them,
no, I understand
more
that. I
money
just,
we get
I
back.
broke it out because it's, so
Yeah.
that'll change the amounts, obviously, so that's why.
yeah, I'd like to leave them at full funding because of what they get back and
Including
because
the
of the
soft costs?
restrictions.
The soft cost must be.
Yeah, the soft costs too, because we're required
That's-
to actually hire an off-island architect who looked at the bid package.
All right, so let me get back to my.
So that would be 341 and 30.
It's 19.5 is the contingency amount.
Yeah,
19,500 and 35,000 for soft costs, so basically we go back to 341, so.
and what would that change the total down there?
Basically 55,000, 55,500,
Sorry, now,
54,000.
I hate doing this on my phone, I don't pay for it. So we, 267. So 267,000 minus 957,770 leaves 1,712,000.
No, don't do that.
Well, I'm doing it that way.
Just add the 19.5 and the 35.
No,
back.
hold on. Linda. taking the available $2,670,000 for historic preservation, I subtracted the $957,770 from, that we
St. Paul's.
said,
Yep.
we're gonna give to St. Paul's. And now I'm going to subtract 341,000 and
Oh, wait, hang on, you don't have to do it that way.
I can do it
You've
that way.
already had the 2,669 at the bottom, just
But
add
that-
the 55,000 back in, that's it.
We don't have to argue how to get to the same number.
You're going too far, because
Madam
I
Chair,
love
if I
your
may?
total.
Eleanor did the spreadsheet, so I think she should do the math. We both are gonna come back to the same number.
Yeah, but there's no point in doing it one by one, you just add the 55,000.
I'll tell you what,
back
you
in.
do it. I don't wanna be involved. I don't have.
I'm just adding what you
I'm
took
not
out
interested in
back in.
arguing with you about this. You go ahead and do it yourself.
It's just easier to do it that way, because
You
I
just
love your
do it
total.
Yourself.
I think your total is great.
And now turn the.
You don't have to, your thing is perfect. We can vote on your thing without ever spending a whole lot of time doing anything else.
We'll let Glenna do the math. So right now, if we're adding,
We're adding 54,500 back into your total at the bottom.
Yep.
Which is what? 2,669,920 plus 54,500.
2 million.
No, we didn't get there. 2,000,007 something.
What are you adding to 2,669,920
7
plus what?
Oh,
2724,420.
20. All right, so it's 2,724,420.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm missing a number. Oh, there we go. 4, 2, 7. Okay, all right, and
So
then,
I make a motion, we fund the housing authority at 3.
well, hang on, we might be able to, this time, we may be able to go through all at one time, so let's just go down the list for a second. Ryan Mitchell, we knew that they had, a contingency in there. Landmark House, remember what those others were?
with what others?
Landmark,
33,300.
because it wasn't contingency.
That might have been the, I only brought remaining this stuff, because I think it is what the ones.
Was it scaffolding?
No,
No,
You
no,
have
they
your,
don't need
um,
scaffolding, it's the.
it was,
it's the
it was
entrance.
built into Lytle's thing.
You have the proposals, right, Linda?
Is it
Yeah.
Lytle?
Next to you?
No, it was Clark Brothers. It's
Clark
Doing it,
Brothers,
And they had some sort of a contingency.
Mm.
because you don't have it in the contingency, which is,
Hold the thing, because 149 is a lot.
They're one of those bind it, yep.
And 33.
That's landmark.
Adjusted.
yeah, the Clark Brothers were 182,300. Mostly put together this thing.
Yeah, it's about
But the index
5-6%
is-
contingency. I think.
There we go. What'd you pick? The 33, it was 15% contractor's fee.
Yeah. We don't cover that, do we?
Usually not.
Not once it's broken out.
Yeah, if they had been smart, they wouldn't have broken it out.
Right.
All right, so we're okay with that coming out?
149 is the total?
Yeah.
Did we do the Mitchell House?
Yeah, we left it
At one,
without the 10,000. Yeah,
at 145?
yeah.
Okay,
And we have
and so 149 for the landmark?
Yep.
Okay,
remain. That's a bit different.
that's,
That's hugely
Yeah.
different.
25%, 699,000.
Well, they asked for two something.
Yeah.
Yes, for 2.3.
Yeah.
it's 1.6 million less or something like that.
You know, and they went
They
back.
revised their overall request down from 2.3 million to 699.
Yeah,
Oh,
they did what we asked them to do.
Mhm.
oh, wow.
What's the most essential? Because we said at the
Hey.
meeting,
Yeah,
Huh?
I said, hey,
They'll be back next year,
I'm sure.
but that's all right.
yeah.
Yep. So we took out all the other stuff
It's a base
already.
project anyways.
NISDA we've left out, we'll come back to it.
Wait, so let,
Remain.
So 699,303, this, the one you have
do
already.
we want to come back to that? since we
NISDA?
don't exactly have enough,
I don't wanna come back to it, but
Okay.
I don't care, I'm wondering if we do.
Well, the motion, when we do get to it, has to be that we zero fund them. I can't just say you're out. We zero fund them.
Yep.
All right, so let's go to Fair Street.
Madam Chair,
Yep,
may I ask for a clarification on the numbers on the Remain project? And
yep.
how that exactly got broken down?
They sent a revised proposal, Tom.
We have a hard,
And
we have
I
a hard
sent
back
you-
right here, which you guys can't see.
I
They
also
it
sent the
revised.
electronic copy, Tom,
Oh,
last night.
Yeah, it's on page.
Yeah.
Schedule 24.
Because we asked them at the last meeting that they drill down on what is absolutely essential to protect the building in the meantime. And most of
Yep.
it was due to water. So almost everything in here is gutters, rainwater leaders, upper roof. So the sheathing is coming apart up there. It's slate. Stormwater detention tank with a, I believe they're working with the town on that, lead coated copper edging. Condenser units,
It's on page 24, if you open it in your email, the breakdown, the schedule of values, and then it's basically
All
exterior
roof.
restoration, stormwater management, and waterproofing.
yeah, it's all roof and, water. All of it. Scaffolding, yeah, we know that. What people try to do here, and we always encourage it, is that they share the scaffolding, so it doesn't go back off island and come back, because we've done that with the NHA and another project. So they are scaffolding all over the back of the Whalen Museum at the moment, for 2 projects going back there. And hopefully they'll be able to move the scaffolding over there, because I know they've shared them on NHA.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't usually see
The
that.
church did that, they shared it with
funded
somebody else.
money.
Tom, does that answer your question?
yeah, it does, and I didn't see the email. Madam Chair, I know you covered this in our last go around last year with this, but this building does have historical significance, and also that it does have public access, correct?
Yes.
And so it is within keeping with our purview, correct?
Yes, because I remember when this first came up with the Mariner House. I had lengthy discussions with CPC in Boston. And they said, yes, if it's an historic structure, and we do have supporting, when we do the write-ups to justify each one of these things, which I've given you all in the past. We will justify it with using those caveats, that it is in the public domain, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's how we did the St. Mary's Rectory. Because they're historically significant structures. And St. Mary's is actually an historically significant structure. It's one of the only combination Queen Anne, Queen Victorian in town. There's maybe 5 of them. So we will justify it. Just for your edification, we did take out their contingency. They knew they had a large contingency. We said that to them. $72,063 came off of that. Then we have the greater light. They knew there was.
Where, I'm not following where you are.
You're at
really,
Fair Street Library.
I'm just moving down to Fair.
Okay.
Yeah, but we were on,
have we
Remain.
said yes to remain? Can we just,
Yeah, but nobody's arguing about that. It's there.
699? We're trying so Glenna can keep track.
I'm just
She's got
writing
the
it
sheet.
here.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll
Uh,
review it
We're
at
not
the
arguing
end.
with your sheet.
okay, so Fair Street, sorry.
So Fair Street took the contingency off, Greater Light, we took the contingency off.
so we're going with your numbers.
Yeah, I think her numbers are perfect, and the town clerk, that's pretty much as it is. Now we gotta go back to NISDA.
I can give you another number that might be interesting. The delta, negative delta with the amount that we have without Brian helping is negative $54,420 without giving anything to NISDA.
Yeah,
So at this
and Brian
point,
said
if
we have it, if we want it.
Yeah,
Right. So maybe
And we
we're,
also have it in reserves, we got $1.5 million in reserves, so.
so right now,
Yay.
if we can cover that 54,420.
Yep.
And then do we need to vote on the affordable housing? Did we do that? The, whether we're doing five or
Affordable
10?
Housing Trust
we did already.
We did that, right?
in the
Fine.
beginning.
But yeah, I'll bring it up again, just to make sure that we're
We'll
comfortable
review
with
it
that.
at the end.
Um,
She'll go down the list.
So we're back to NISDA. And our justification for funding it at 0 is,
Neville was okay with it?
hmm?
the project
Neville was
manager.
okay with it.
Yeah, never was okay with it, for sure.
Yeah, I like that, nice.
Yeah.
That's true.
And they have
They have,
for that project already that they haven't spent.
Well, no,
No,
the
that's for
money
East
they have
Cottage.
for other stuff.
It's for
the
the stuff,
silo,
yeah.
the
The
barn,
cottage.
the this, the that, they can't touch it.
I thought they had some for that
No,
particular project.
Only the East Cottage, this is the
West
West
Cottage, this
Cottage.
is West Cottage, but I
Mass
don't think we
Historical.
can, we can't justify this this
Right.
year, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, again, I just go back to Neville, he feels that we're okay. Maybe that they're not even gonna get to it this year and they fund it for next year,
Right.
I don't know, but it's, you know.
And
So
also-
it's hard for us to justify that. I know it's an historic structure, it moved obviously off of Washington Street.
Yeah.
But with all the other needs that are present, that are current, that we're gonna have a bigger bang for the buck kind of thing.
My only concern here is that it is meant to be, well, it's meant to be a source of income for them per their narrative. It's meant to be housing for their visiting artists and like teachers and so forth.
Yeah.
But it's also a source of income, they said somewhere in their narrative.
Yeah.
And they need it, they need the income, so I have some mixed feelings about it, but
Well, I think we're getting a little, I agree totally. But when we say the East Cottage and the West Cottage, they're both on the same line.
Yeah.
It's
You
the
can't
same
miss it when you
project,
drive
so
by.
I kind of think they have a source of money to work on one of the cottages. Doesn't preclude them from coming back next year,
Right.
working on the other one. I'm all good with.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
Well, they're down on their foundations now, which is good.
if I may.
Yeah.
I can just, from this list that I'd share with everybody, this is as of July 1st, and nothing has really been put in for that, in terms of reimbursement requests. And so, Ms. DeBarn has $37,807.01 left. And then they also have,
A lot more.
a grant for, that's what it was called, with $2,732.33 left. And then last year, or fiscal year 24, they have,
30
from the
something.
367,300, they have $283,000 left in that.
but they
What-
can't
what's
use
that
that
for?
for the West Cottages.
Well, it says, this. I'm not exactly sure what it's for because it's not listed here.
Is it the West Cottage?
No,
No,
It
neither
wouldn't be
one.
the
We didn't
West
get involved
Cottage
in this
campus.
project at all.
But they do have at least three open
Yeah.
projects right now, and so,
and we're not clear why that money hasn't been requisitioned.
They've got not too much left in the silo account, but they've got money spread out over several years here.
I think they have more projects than they have labor to do.
Yeah, so on
yeah,
that,
and they also have something for the long barn. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
they,
the 30 something.
yeah, the 37,000, so they have quite a bit
Yeah.
That's
going
look great
on.
what they've done out there.
Yeah,
It is,
I
but I
mean, we
think,
saw the
I think
silos.
they
they
just
were-
need to keep moving with what they're,
Yes, when they clean up some of that, then we
Yeah.
can.
but we're gonna get that back, because the silos are done. So there's other certain things that are done.
Mhm.
If they're still working on the barns, we gotta find out what's happening there.
And presumably they'll come back
Yeah.
next year.
Those are,
oh, sorry.
It's okay.
But everybody's
Hello?
comfortable with not funding them this year?
Yes.
I'm
You
comfortable
need
with it. Again, I think Jess is actually
All
right.
right, I'll bring it
If
to you.
Neville, who's their
Okay.
advocate,
I'll
is
be
okay
up,
with it.
Because otherwise,
like
we're gonna
that,
have to
in a
cut
half hour.
$500,000 across the board
Right.
from an
Right.
awful lot of these historic preservation
Oh, I'm
things, which are
sorry.
one-shot
Okay.
deals, a lot of them.
So you can't give a portion of what they ask?
Well,
Like-
we've asked them, can you keep going with that's the typical question every year. Can you keep going if you don't get all the funds?
Right. and we do.
Most can, some can't.
Right,
And you can't just give St. Paul's half a roof, there's things like that you can't do.
the other advantage is maybe, Linda, because they got MHC funding for the East Cottage.
Sorry about it, you guys, can I just cut through our circuit's gone off.
Oh, been there, sorry.
maybe that's what's
No, maybe
going on
we-
here.
Maybe it's system wide. Maybe they could go back and get MHC funds for the West Cottage since they got it for the East. I don't know how.
Yeah,
simple
they
that
only get like
process is.
25 grand, but they still can do that.
And they should be getting historic tax credits because if you have an income producing,
If they've applied for historic tax.
I mean,
Because I do that with through Holly at.
Yeah,
at the
she gave me the
HCC.
information on that.
And that's something, a conversation I should have with Mariah Mitchell and everybody else. I
Right.
think Mariah Mitchell was doing
We
that.
mentioned it at the,
Yeah.
and to remain as well.
Yeah, because it helps them.
If you have an income producing historic property, you're eligible. It's a quite an onerous process to apply for them, but
But we have somebody, we work with Epsilon and those
Yeah,
guys
that's
in
the one I was
Connecticut,
talking
and those guys help us.
They're very good.
There's a lot, some of my clients have done that. and they-
I mean, maybe Nista knows about that. They're pretty well versed in that.
My children are
I'll
calling.
bring it up with the NHA.
Yeah,
All right, so we're comfortable with that. So what we have right now. Oh,
yeah, the children.
I guess I wouldn't fool around with that stuff. I'd call guys that know what they're doing.
Yeah, I just thought that when the circuits had blown because of the heaters that were plugged into the wall, we unplugged them, but,
I had to unplug them the other day just because it was too
We have a heater on here,
hot.
but it's
Oh.
not,
They don't draw. They are 110s, they don't draw.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going before we burn down.
Jesse's gotta go too, so let's take our last votes.
All right, so
yes, you're gonna fire them.
what we have
See,
is,
that's what, look at, now it's up. Don't know,
what? Now it's gone.
He just turned the power.
yeah, he did something over there.
those guys are still here, us guys?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
they're here.
Okay, all right, so here we go.
good. Joe Tugboat.
I know, you see the little kid in the, with the.
Are you trying to say you're the tugboat that could, little tugboat that could?
Absolutely. Wait, weathering through the
All
storm.
right, let's rope it in, people.
Okay, so right
All
now.
So
we're
right
up
now,
to-
we've got St. Paul's at 957,770. We have the Housing Authority at $341.30. We have Mariah Mitchell
What?
at 100,
Where?
Fully
back to the beginning.
Fully
Oh,
funded.
sorry.
Don't stop me.
Sorry.
We got Mariah Mitchell at 145,000. We have the Landmark House at 149,000. We have Remain at 699,303. Zero for NISDA. Fair Street 288,002. Greater Light at 134,815. And the town clerk at 9,500. That means that historic preservation is $2,724,420.
Right.
Everybody comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay,
No.
Tom,
Motion to approve.
okay,
Some, second,
okay, Tim made a motion to approve the allocation for historic preservation. Eleanor seconded, all those in favor?
Aye. Oh,
Jesse?
roll call, sorry.
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Eleanor?
aye,
Tom?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Okay. We go over here to Interfaith Council. For affordable housing.
We did these. These
I
were
just
the
want to,
first-
we're just going back over the whole thing. Interfaith
Okay.
Council's 380,000, Affordable Housing Trust Fund, bond payment at 350,000. Then we voted on the Lighthouse School, 83,950. And the Racket Club, $316,050. And we also had the 200,000 for administrative.
Right.
And that should work, guys.
The only thing left we have to do, Linda, is take Brian up on his offer to bump the 4 million up to cover the shortfall.
Yes. And he doesn't have to bump it up far,
No, no.
54,000 and
Yeah.
400.
because we had started out at 4.2, give or take, but we wanted to be safe.
Yeah.
At
So there
4
was a buffer
million.
anyway.
It was above it anyway, not much, but it was above it, so we
Yeah.
wanted to be safe and just say, we'll work with the 4 million in case something else happens.
Yeah.
But we have the undesignated reserves to cover something, if something happened with that
Yeah.
54,000 kind of thing. All right, so is everybody comfortable with those amounts? Tom,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Jesse,
Yes.
Yes.
Tim, Eleanor?
Yes,
And myself, so if somebody want to make a motion to approve it as discussed,
so moved.
Tim second,
Simpson.
Jesse,
Aye.
Tim,
We're all puppets.
Eleanor,
Aye,
Tom,
Aye.
Joe.
Aye.
Well, thank you, Eleanor, myself.
That was very.
Oh, my God, Cause
Yeah.
normally this takes 3 or 4 meetings.
I will tell you, I spent all day doing this, most of the day.
Well, I told you, Eleanor.
Then I went back to my office after planning board, because I was like, shoot, did I do it wrong? And I was like, I didn't do it wrong, yay.
I stayed at planning board till 9 o'clock.
I know,
ZBA to that, and 18 HCC things I had to file yesterday, so.
God bless you.
But,
Oh,
this has been fantastic, but as I told Eleanor a couple weeks ago, that every time we have a new sort of a makeup of the, CPC to last, we came into being in like April of 2001. Every time we have a group, there's always one person who does that for us. But this was,
I love spreadsheets.
we could not have done this without Eleanor.
yeah, no, that's a great job. I read it last night, I'm like, this is gonna be a fast meeting.
I was just like, oh, and I'm sure, the fact that we're funding Remain to what they asked for to secure that building is, I think they're gonna be overjoyed.
I'm very impressed that they came back pretty quickly with a
Yeah.
highly
Oh, yeah.
refined
Yeah,
and broken down
yeah,
priority.
I mean,
Yeah.
I like that.
this has been incredibly smooth, thanks to your help and their response, their overt
I
response.
can't recall in my email times what came first, Remain or you, but they were both perfect, as it dovetailed the money perfectly.
Remain came first,
Yeah.
now I can work.
Yes, yeah.
This is great. So is there anything else?
Very different.
I don't think there's anything else, but moving forward, just looking ahead to next year. When I get the applications in and I create that big spreadsheet, do you want me to pull the contingencies out or just?
No, we have
We
to
can
do
do
it.
it.
Okay.
We
Because
have
there
to-
are
Okay.
times where like
Yeah, like the housing.
authority, and I
Okay.
remember last year we
It'd
said
be
yes.
good to whoever's Flying, let them
Yeah,
know.
right.
Well, we always do, but they still put it in.
Yeah, hang on.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
a case by case basis, guys. We
Yeah.
can't just
Okay.
say no.
Right,
Because as you say, we had to do the contingency for St. Mary's because the
Right.
priest can't handle that project.
right,
And the minute you start opening those walls and
My
stuff,
priest.
you just, now we're gonna have to start allocating the next meeting. If we don't wanna meet in December, we can just wait until January.
And we're not
because
meeting
everybody's
Tuesday,
tied up.
correct?
No, not meeting Tuesday, guys.
Right, because we only had 2 requisitions
Right.
to approve.
So
and
I've had
we
them put on
approved-
today
yeah.
instead. And we don't have to meet in December, because we can do it in the office and then retroactively approve them in January, if you don't wanna
We can do a
do.
Zoom in December.
I'm not here that week in December, I'm in Florida.
But we did a Zoom last year, if it's necessary.
yeah, if you.
Necessary, but otherwise, we're not gonna have a December meeting unless we absolutely have to have a December meeting.
So if we get
Meanwhile,
requisitions, I'll let you know, and
Meanwhile, we'll
if
put
anything
together
else comes up.
the narratives, and I'll farm that out, farm that out to people, because I'm gonna have to go to the, I love it when you came with me, I'd have to go to the FinCom to justify the allocations and stuff.
Yeah.
They don't start that until January, so.
Right, happy to come.
Any
Well, I'll make
comments?
a motion.
Hold on, any comments from you
Wait,
guys up online there, Tom or Joe?
Question.
Any
No.
questions?
It was
Oh.
great. I thought that was a good discussion. Thank you.
That was great.
My question simply is about what Brian just gave us. Are we to do anything with this, or do you want to make the phone calls?
We're gonna figure out what to do, and if I broke one of you in to help.
Yeah,
make these phone calls, because it'd probably be you.
I still don't have,
Oh, I mean, to the
project, so
project
To get
manager.
to get the stuff back.
my project can be Glenna's sidekick.
Well, typically I reach out to all of,
But
the
now
folks
we have
that
the
are
figures
listed.
that we
It
have.
would make sense.
to see, I mean, this is what
We're
it's,
handling the-
this is the way that it's been done historically, but
Right.
if,
No, I'm happy to.
okay.
But
Yeah,
we gotta do it
I'll-
now, because I gotta put a separate warrant article
yeah.
in.
Yeah, you have the time and bandwidth.
I'll reach out to them and, let them know this is what you have left in your budget.
when
Is
you're
it,
done
right, are you
with
done?
This project.
And if, with this
Yeah.
project, and if you're not, you need to return those funds. If you are, you need to return those funds. Otherwise, it has to be used for that specific project in which you applied in.
And
in
so-
the
But
application.
Brian said he doesn't even have to hear from them. If we tell Brian they're done with vis-a-vis our conversations with these guys, he will take the money out.
But what if it's a 20-year-old project? They're like, no, we're not done with that roof.
Then you
Uh-huh.
have to honor
Right.
that.
Well, then they're gonna have to tell me what the hell's going on.
Right.
Time limit, like.
Yeah.
Well, they have to start it within 2 years, but they can take forever in the day to
Wow.
finish it.
And you'll see most of these
Like
guys
construction
have
loans.
started, they
So-
just have money still sitting.
As, I should say, as a new member, we could do this next year, but I don't have any projects.
I don't
So
either.
you
Well,
will.
that's what I'm
I've
saying.
been on.
So we'll be
Our next
assigning,
meeting, we gotta assign the ones we
Yeah.
did last year, the 2004 stuff.
Yeah.
And we gotta assign the 2005
Yeah.
stuff, but we can't really do that with only 6 of us here.
Well, you're hoarding some stuff, right?
No, I've been on
So
the
we'll put
same.
that on the agenda for next meeting.
20 years.
The next meeting, yes.
Okay.
Some of the projects and, I'll get a list of open projects out to everyone.
From last year and this year. Because
just
we didn't,
all the
we
open
didn't assign
projects, yeah.
any of them last year, except for those of us who are still going with older
Does
projects.
it make sense for me to oversee NRSA since I'm integrally involved with the planning process, or is that somehow?
I
No.
think,
You can do that, because I oversee the housing authority.
Right,
Yeah,
Tom, did you have,
he has Ryan
NRSA?
Mitchell.
Me, no.
No,
no, he
okay.
has to recuse from.
I think Neville does. I may be wrong about that.
Oh, I think you're right.
What about
I
Neville?
think you're right. Neville is on the NRSA thing.
Yeah,
And we-
somebody, I had a done.
If he wants
Let's
to-
see.
Hand it to me, that's fine, if he's
I
willing.
do have some of the projects.
We can do this,
listed
we can do
here.
this next time. I just.
That's what I'm saying, we'll do this in January, but
Okay.
we've got to make assignments in January, because people are now coming in. We just did a fund requisition from when we just started in July. So
We
we've
are,
got to
we are
get this
adjourned.
done.
Yeah.
Nobody's made a
No.
motion. to
No,
adjourn
we
yet.
got a roll call.
Motion adjourned.
Motion to adjourn. Eleanor made a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Aye.
Jesse seconded. Tom,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
Jesse,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Aye.
Eleanor, and myself. Thank you, everybody, for
Thank
all that
you.
hard work.
Enjoy your
Eleanor did.
event,
Yeah, I was
Tom.
gonna say, the hard work. is
Thank
there.
you. Have a
Now,
good
here's the
Thanksgiving
thing.
all if I don't see you.
Hang on to Everybody, we don't tell anybody specifically
Right.
until we actually
Post
put
it.
it, post it, and, even if people disagree with some things. In public, we're all in favor of what we did,
Yeah.
okay?
All for one.
That was always Ken's speech every.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
But we used to file our own warrant articles, so it was published the minute the citizens warrant article went in after the snow thing debacle. But we, it doesn't come up again until the selectmen put it on their warrant, unless we continue to do our own warrant, but we don't, the selectmen put it in for us.
Right.
All right.